Hey y'all, Zach McDonald, your real estate agent with Real Property Associates, and in this video, I am going to share my Seattle real estate housing market predictions for 2024. It's time for me to dust off the crystal ball, and I do that once a year. Okay, let's be honest, I kind of have the crystal ball out all year long, but in this case, I want to share some predictions and a forecast for the housing market in Seattle in 2024. Now, before we go into my 2024 predictions, I think it is fair that we look at the 2023 predictions and recap the year in the Seattle housing market and also see how we did. So let's look at these predictions from 2023. Number one, home prices will be down year over year. And I would say that that was a yes. Home prices were down year over year in Seattle and across the region. There were some places where the December year over year numbers were a little bit higher. Bellevue is one example. But overall, the region was down. And if we look at a 12-month average for 2023 versus 2022, home prices were certainly down. Seattle ended 2023 down year over year 2.9%, not a large amount, but still down year over year. Let's look at interest rates. So number two, I predicted that interest rates would be lower at the end of 2023 than they were at the end of 2022. Now, if we look at the rates, Mortgage News Daily's daily survey, the last survey they did of 2022, rates were at 6.5, and the last survey that they did in 2023, 6.63. So that was a miss. And I would say overall in 2023, rates, according to their data, trended way higher than they were in 2022. So even though we wrapped up the year pretty close to the same spot as far as rates are concerned, with hope that they'll come down, I say that 2023 rates were definitely higher than they were in 2022. Now, my third prediction from 2022 was that new construction would slow down in 2023, and that is true. The census website has us at 9% fewer housing starts in 2023 than in 2022. I would say that's fairly significant because we've been in a deficit for new construction, at least in the Seattle area. I know there are oversaturated markets and markets where new construction is just sitting and languishing on the market. We've certainly had builders in the Pacific Northwest incentivizing buyers to purchase with closing cost credits and additional things like blinds or maybe a washer and dryer thrown in, but we haven't seen stuff just sitting and sitting and sitting like in some other markets. But overall, that prediction that new construction starts would slow down was accurate for 2023. So far, what are we, 2 for 3? I think that's pretty good. Fewer home sales and listings was number 4, and that was a yes. We were down about 25% year over year in Seattle specifically for new listings, and the purchases were down about 24%. So that's a big reason we didn't see things just fall apart in 2023. There was this prediction that, not by me, but by some, that we would see prices continue to tank. And the fear was that there would be so many people trying to sell their house that we would have a flood of inventory or houses for sale. And that just did not happen in 2023. We saw fewer people listing their houses because of the interest rate environment. I would say that's probably the biggest reason. And because there was a pullback on the listing inventory, there wasn't really much of an impact negatively on the housing market because of fewer buyers making purchases in 2023. The final prediction for 2023 was that there would be no buyers or sellers market in Seattle. And I think overall we're going to say yes to this one. There was a short period during the spring where we saw multiple offers and houses selling over asking price, just a tiny bit. But that was not a broad experience. That was just for a short amount of time and in certain areas. So I would say overall, no buyers or sellers market. There were situations where some houses that were just absolutely amazing or in a prime location sold for a little over asking price or had multiple offers. But I think across the board in the Seattle area, buyers had negotiation power as well. So I'd say it was a balanced market in 2023. So looking back over 2023's predictions, 4 out of 5, pretty good. I felt pretty good about the interest rate one too. We were pretty close there. But let's look at 2024. So my forecast for the Seattle housing market in 2024, I'll try to mirror these predictions from last year, or at least have some similarities here. So as far as prices go, I think that prices will be up year over year at the end of 2024 in the Seattle area. We've seen that inventory has been shrinking. We have hope that interest rates are going to be better. That's a little bit of a sneak peek on one of the other predictions. I think that prices will continue to recover and that we'll see higher prices. Now, are we going to see 5 to 10% increases year over year? I wouldn't be surprised, but I think that's a bold prediction, so I won't get that bold. I think prices will be up. Let's just go with that. But I wouldn't be surprised to see larger jumps if interest rates do come down more than I'm expecting. Number 2, my second prediction for 2024 is that we will see lower interest rates. But I'll add a caveat. I don't think interest rates are going to be in the 3s or even in the 4s. I think we're going to see low to mid 5s at best in 2024, which is still significantly better than mid to upper 6s or low 7s as an average. So interest rates will be lower in 2024, I think, but I don't think they're going to get into the 4s. I would love it if they got into the 4s. I want to refinance my mortgage too. So if they do, probably going to be refinancing my mortgage, but if not, probably continue to wait it out a little bit. Now, number 3, I think that there will be an uptick in new construction in 2024. There will be more starts than there were this year. I don't even think that's very bold of a prediction. I think builders have more hope for the future right now than they did in 2023, and even at the end of 2022, there are going to be more people that have been purchasing land in 2023 with that hope here recently, and I think we'll continue to see that trend. Now, the Seattle area has struggled with new construction for a long time because there's just not a lot of space to build. Everything is farther and farther out. So Seattle and Bellevue specifically just don't have a lot of new construction. But as a whole in the industry, I think we're going to see an uptick, and I do think we will see an uptick, but in some of the places a little on the outskirts of King and Snohomish County. Prediction number 4, we will see lower housing inventory than normal, fewer listings coming on the market, but we will also see more houses sell in Seattle than we did last year. In 2023, we saw one of the lowest listing years. We saw some of the fewest listings come on the market, and in 2024, I think we will still see fewer than we have seen historically in the Seattle area, but I expect that we'll see more listings this year than we did last year. And I also think we'll see more buyer activity this year and see more sales than we did in 2023 as well. But I would expect that we'll still see fewer than we had been seeing during the hyper hot housing market. My final prediction for 2024 is that we will see the return of the seller's market in Seattle. And I do feel like I'm going out on a limb just a little bit here with this prediction. And there may be periods of the year, I think we're still in that period where we're transitioning towards a seller's market. But as inventory declines and as activity picks up, I think we're going to see more buyers in the market than we are going to see sellers. And we're already in a low inventory environment. So if rates do come down, like we're expecting, then I think that will stimulate the housing market in Seattle, and that will cause prices to go up, and it will give leverage back to sellers. I don't think we're going to see enough new listings this year to keep up with the buyer demand. So to recap, my predictions for the Seattle housing market in 2024, I think we're going to see prices up year over year. I think we're going to see lower interest rates, but not as low as some people would hope, probably in the low to mid 5s. I think we're going to see more new construction across the board, but also in the Seattle metro area. I think we're going to see lower housing inventory than normal, but we'll see more listing activity than we did in 2023. And number 5, I think we're going to see the return of the seller's market, or the sellers seeing multiple offers and competition in 2024. Thanks so much for watching the 2024 Seattle real estate market housing forecast. If you have questions about the housing market in the Seattle area, I'd love to be a resource for you, and I would be honored if you subscribe and follow along with the channel.